there's something else I need to share with you. One of the prisoners that we advocate for, there's 2 CMU prisons. Have we ever talked about CMU prisons before?
I got a mention about it on one of your documents, but it's basically where you said they lock up charismatic people.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's one in Terre Haute, Indiana, and there's one in Marianna, Illinois. There's less than 40 people in each of those prisons. One of the prisoners that I was communicating with recently has been murdered. They actually I think the ward, he was just on the verge of winning a huge lawsuit against the Bureau of Prison Director. His name is Charles E. Samuels, Jr. And I called the governor today, and I told him they've allowed this man to be murdered because he was just about to win a lawsuit against the Bureau of Prisons, and it was just about to be successful. And nobody gives a damn, but it's a really tragedy. And this man was a Christian man as well, and he was a good friend of Schaefer Cox. And they found him in a cell murdered. And I'm concerned that nobody in mainstream media is even talking about it. And anyway, I only share that to show how wicked our opponent is, but I think you knew that already, so.
I think people need to listen, and they need to reach out to 60 Minutes. They need to reach out to Ground Zero, Alex Jones. All these programs need to talk about that case and expose the fact that when people are holding these government SOBs accountable, that's when they come after you, because I was shining the light on the corruption in Tipton County, the corrupt corporate system where the rigged elections and rigged courts have been going on for generations. That's when they came after me. I've done nothing wrong. I'm an innocent man. My wife is innocent. But we're basically being railroaded and destroyed because we're exposing this evil and corruption. And if people out there will just speak out and reach out to these people and get attention, it will stop. When the light is on you, you're protected. When there's no light on you, when nobody came, one man and his wife came to my trial, I would have thought there would have been dozens of people, if not for the mere fact that nobody that I know of reached out to these local nations and they didn't understand what's going on. There should have been hundreds of people there protesting. Now they're going to take me to a sentencing hearing down in Lincoln, Nebraska, away from Omaha, so that there's going to be even fewer people that will have the ability to show up on my behalf. They know that this one man who currently is homeless, the likelihood of him traveling 50 miles, probably not that likely. So they feel like they can get away with destroying me for the rest of my life or however long they want to do it, and nobody will say anything because nobody sees anything. If you're not an eyewitness, you don't know. So these morons, these communist socialists who don't even understand what they're speaking of, they just spew lie after lie. And the sad thing is that morons out there like them believe it because they want to hate somebody, because they have a pathetic life, and they're all about death. And that's all they do is they're all about destroying innocent people. And so that's what they get off on. But you have to expose those people for what they are. See, they hide behind screen names. Real people like me and Rudy, we stand up because we speak the truth. We're not hiding behind anything.
Right.
But yet, we need more people going after these other people, because that man was murdered because he was suing to hold these what's accountable.
Yep.
And they need to be held accountable. And people need to stand up about that. And I think that perhaps the lawsuit should prevail regardless. They should be able to recognize that his family has standing too, because if he's married, he and his wife are one. She owns him as much as he owns himself.
Mike, in one of the phone calls that he called from the CMU prison, he said he's managed to get 2 phone calls out from that prison in 4 years, and one of them was to me. And thank God I recorded it so people could hear his voice before they murdered him. But another point my wife made is that when they're targeting people like you and Schaefer Cox and others and Jeffrey Winehouse, there's all kinds of reports in the media about how bad you guys are, right? About Southern Poverty Law Center reports that you tried to do this and and it's all negative, right?
Right. And here's the thing, that I don't have access to those reports about me and Pat other than the ones you sent. And then when I ask you, how do I get in touch with this guy, I get an email address, I get a phone number. I don't get an address, so I can't communicate. If people will reach out and speak up on my behalf and say, hey, you're spewing a bunch of lies. Guess what? In the pre-sentence report, it says, oops, Well, he wasn't really part of any plot to kidnap anybody after all. The basis for the search warrant to search the Chilcotin and transport plane was that they deemed me to be part of some conspiracy to kidnap a judge. No, a lawful court order by a court that's from a sovereign nation that has the ability to indict and issue court orders and arrest warrants is part of a court order. That's lawful process. Judges are not immune. Sheriffs are not immune. They're not God.
Yeah.
Although these pea-brain morons like Trader, you need to look up his name. He's evil. He's evil. He is Luciferian pit of hell evil.
Yeah.
People need to look him up. These are evil people, and they hide. Now, heroes that run into burning houses and run towards the shots because their family's being attacked, he can't grasp that concept. He's been taught to run and hide like a little girl. That's what he is. He won't even debate me on the friggin' visitation. He could put on a clown mask like the clown he is. He could give some kind of clown name, and I would sit there and debate this clown into the dust because he can't handle the truth. He'll sit there with unlimited time on email and spew all this garbage, knowing I can't respond because I'm locked up. I don't have email. I don't have the ability to respond to all his nonsense. I can't afford the phone calls. But will he underwrite the cost to debate me? No, he won't, because he's a coward.
Yeah. Amen. But Mike, the one point I might want to make real quick is my wife made the point that when they're targeting you, you got all of these reports, and like you said, they don't give addresses, so you can't write them back. But when they kill you in prison, when we find these people are murdered, and he's not the first man that we've came across that's been murdered in prison, there's a small little blip in a off the weird newspaper that says body found murdered in prison, and they don't write anything else about it, and you'll never hear anything else about it again.
And people need to pick up on that. Look, Donald Trump pardoned peas and carrots. Will he pardon Pat and others who have been falsely accused and railroaded?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to pardon 2 turkeys, come on now.
Amen, Mike.
We've got live men and women that are lives are being destroyed that are totally innocent, and I know he can't do anything about these state charges, but he can damn sure do something about the federal cases, and he can order an investigation into the corrupt system, because the federal system is over the state system. It's a corporate system. That's where they get their charters, from the feds.
Thank you for using GTL.